October is here, and most people pack away their gardening tools. But here's the secret. This is the month that sets you up for success. Right now, you can plant crops that thrive both indoors and outdoors. If you miss this window, you'll regret it come spring. Stick with me, because crop number one on this list is hands down the easiest, fastest, and most rewarding you'll ever grow. Welcome back to the channel where we share simple gardening tips all year round. October isn't the end of gardening, it's the start of cool weather crops. Less pests, sweeter flavors, and fresh harvests while others are stuck buying store lettuce. Before we jump in, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. I've got weekly tips to keep your garden growing every season. Let's dive in. Starting off at number 15, we've got strawberries. Now, October might not sound like strawberry season, but this is actually the perfect time to plant runners or bare root plants. Why? Because the cool weather helps them establish strong roots over winter, so by spring, they're ready to explode with growth. Outdoors, tuck them into well-drained soil, add a layer of mulch, and they'll sit snug all winter long. Indoors, strawberries do just fine in containers near a sunny window. You'll want at least 6 hours of light a day. Plant each runner about a foot apart with the crowns sitting right at soil level. Too deep and they'll rot, too shallow and the roots dry out. Keep the soil moist but not soggy. By early summer, you'll be picking sweet homegrown berries. And here's a bonus tip. Remove the first flowers you see in spring. It feels wrong, but it pushes the plant to focus on root strength and gives you bigger harvests later. Number 14 is turnips, one of the most underrated cool season crops. October is a sweet spot for them because they thrive in chilly soil and grow fast. In fact, you can be harvesting baby turnips in as little as 30 days. Indoors, use a deep container, at least 8 inches, with loose soil so the roots can swell properly. Outdoors, sow directly into the garden or raised beds. They handle light frosts without a problem, and the cooler it gets, the sweeter the roots taste. Plant the seeds about ½ an inch deep and an inch apart. Once the seedlings sprout, thin them to 3 inches so each plant has room to grow. Keep the soil evenly moist. Dry spells make the roots woody. Depending on the variety, you'll harvest in 30 to 60 days. Pick them small, around 2 inches wide for the best flavor. And don't toss the greens, they're packed with nutrients and cook up like spinach. Here's a tip. Stagger your sowing every 2 weeks so you've got a steady supply of fresh turnips well into winter. Quick question, do you use turnips mainly for the roots or do you love the greens too? Lucky number 13 is herbs, specifically parsley, cilantro, and chives. October is a fantastic time to get these going because cooler weather slows down bolting, which means you get longer, fuller harvests. And the beauty of herbs? You can grow them literally anywhere, out in the garden, in a greenhouse, or right on your kitchen windowsill. Indoors, give them a container that's at least 6 inches deep, fill it with a good quality potting mix, and place it in a sunny window. Cilantro especially loves that cooler indoor temperature. Outdoors, you can tuck parsley and chives straight into raised beds or borders, and they'll handle light frosts without complaining. For planting, scatter the seeds lightly on the surface, then cover with just a thin layer of soil. Parsley is slow to germinate, sometimes up to 3 weeks, so don't panic if you don't see sprouts right away. Cilantro, on the other hand, pops up quickly and gives you usable leaves in just 4 weeks. Chives, once established, they'll keep coming back year after year. Harvest timelines vary. Cilantro and parsley are ready in about a month, while chives can be cut again and again as they regrow. Snip outer leaves or stems and let the plant keep producing. Here's a bonus tip. Plant cilantro in staggered batches every 2 to 3 weeks. That way you'll always have fresh leaves instead of a big harvest all at once. Coming in at number 12 is cabbage, one of the hardiest crops you can start in October. Cool soil and shorter days are exactly what cabbage loves, making this the perfect month to set it up for a winter or early spring harvest. Outdoors, cabbage thrives in raised beds or garden rows. Just give it plenty of space, at least 12 to 18 inches between plants, because these guys grow big. Indoors, cabbage is a bit trickier since it needs lots of light and room. But if you've got strong grow lights and patience, you can definitely get seedlings going inside before transplanting them outdoors. When planting, set your seedlings deep, right up to the first true leaves so they anchor firmly and build a solid base. Keep the soil rich with compost and evenly moist. Cabbage hates drying out. And don't forget to mulch around the base to lock in moisture and keep weeds down. Depending on the variety, you'll be harvesting in about 80 to 100 days. That might sound long, but here's the thing. A single cabbage head can feed a family for days, and the colder it gets, the sweeter those leaves taste. Bonus tip, if you cut the main head and leave the outer leaves and roots in place, many cabbage varieties will send up smaller side heads for a second harvest. Double the reward from the same plant. At number 11, we've got broccoli. And let me tell you, October is the sweet spot for this powerhouse vegetable. Broccoli thrives in cool weather, and starting it now means the plants grow strong roots without the stress of summer heat. By late winter or early spring, you'll be cutting your very own heads of broccoli while most gardeners are still waiting for planting season to begin. Outdoors, broccoli does best in raised beds with soil that drains well but holds moisture. Tuck the seedlings in about 18 inches apart so they have room to spread their big leafy arms. If you live where winters get extra harsh, cover them with fleece or a cold frame. Think of it as a cozy blanket that keeps them safe through frosty nights. Indoors, you can start broccoli in seed trays under bright grow lights. When the seedlings are about 4 to 6 weeks old, transplant them outside and let them finish strong in the cool soil. Here's the timeline. In just 2 to 3 months, you'll have a solid central head ready to harvest. And here's the bonus. After you cut that main head, don't pull up the plant. Leave it in the soil, and it'll keep sending up smaller side shoots for weeks. Imagine this, it's January, there's frost on the ground, and you walk out to your garden to cut fresh, homegrown broccoli for dinner. That's the payoff October planting gives you. Quick question, what's your favorite way to eat broccoli? Roasted, steamed, or straight from the stalk with a crunch? Sliding in at number 10 are peas, specifically sugar snap and snow peas. October is prime time to sow them if you want an early, abundant harvest come spring. The soil is cool, the air is crisp, and peas absolutely love that kind of environment. Outdoors, peas are natural climbers, so give them a trellis, a net, or even just a backyard fence to cling onto. Push the seeds an inch deep and 2 inches apart, then let them weave their way upward through the fall and winter. In mild regions, they'll overwinter beautifully, and by spring, you'll have vines loaded with pods. Indoors, peas can grow in containers, but they still want something to climb. A few bamboo sticks or even string tied to a frame will do the trick. Place the container near a sunny window, and you'll be surprised how quickly those vines take off. Timeline-wise, you're looking at around 60 to 70 days for your first harvest once the weather warms. But the best part is how non-stop they can be. Pick pods regularly and the plants will keep producing. Bonus tip. Soak your pea seeds in water overnight before planting. It softens the seed coat and gives you faster, more even germination. Now picture this. Early spring, your garden fence covered in green vines, and you step outside to snack on sweet, crisp peas straight from the pod. That's the reward you set up by planting in October. Number 9 is Swiss chard, sometimes called the rainbow of the garden. October is an excellent time to start it because this leafy green thrives in cooler weather and doesn't mind a light frost. The cooler the nights, the sweeter and crisper those leaves become. Outdoors, plant the seeds half an inch deep and about 6 inches apart. Chard grows fast, and those colorful stems, reds, yellows, oranges, look stunning in any garden bed. Indoors, it does just as well in wide containers on a sunny windowsill or under grow lights. Just remember, it loves space, so don't crowd the seeds. Harvest begins in about 50 to 60 days, but here's the magic. Swiss chard is a cut-and-come-again crop. That means you snip the outer leaves, and the plant keeps sending up new growth for months. One planting can keep your kitchen stocked all winter long. Bonus tip, if you harvest regularly, the plant stays young and tender instead of growing tough. And trust me, once you saute fresh chard with a little garlic and olive oil, you'll wonder why you didn't grow it sooner. At number 8, we've got beets, one of the most versatile crops you can start in October. And here's the best part. You're not just growing roots, you're getting 2 harvests in one. The leaves are just as edible and nutritious as the roots, so nothing goes to waste. Outdoors, sow beet seeds directly into loose, well-drained soil about ½ inch deep and 2 inches apart. Thin the seedlings early to give the roots space to swell. Indoors, you can grow them in deep containers. Just make sure the soil is at least 10 inches deep so the roots develop properly. Harvest timelines vary depending on the size you want. Baby beets are ready in about 35 to 40 days, perfect for roasting whole. If you let them mature, you'll be pulling up large, hardy roots in 50 to 60 days. The greens can be harvested even earlier, almost like spinach. Here's a bonus tip. Roast your beets with the skin on, then slip the skins off after cooking. It locks in the sweetness and makes them much easier to handle. Picture this. It's December, you're pulling fresh beets from the soil, roasting them for dinner, and using the leaves in a salad. All from one planting. That's the kind of payoff October sowing gives you. At number 7, we've got onions, one of the most reliable crops you can start in October. This month gives them a head start, allowing the roots to establish before winter sets in. Come spring, they'll already be strong and ready to push up healthy green shoots. Outdoors, onions love raised beds or rows in well-drained soil. Plant onion sets or small bulbs, about 1 inch deep with the pointy end facing up, and space them 4 to 6 inches apart. Indoors, onions aren't the best choice for bulbs, but you can grow green onions or scallions easily in pots by planting sets close together. The harvest timeline depends on the type. Green shoots can be snipped within weeks, while full bulbs take several months to mature, usually by late spring or early summer. Here's a bonus tip. Don't over-fertilize with nitrogen. Too much leafy growth means the bulbs won't form properly. Instead, give them a balanced feed and plenty of sunlight. Now imagine pulling a whole row of onions out of the ground in June, braiding them together, and hanging them up in your kitchen. That's food security and flavor all in one. Quick question, are you more of a red onion person, a white onion fan, or do you swear by the sharp bite of yellow onions? Number 6 is carrots. A classic cool season crop that October suits perfectly. Carrots actually taste sweeter after a touch of frost, so planting them now means you'll get crisp roots with unbeatable flavor. Outdoors, sow the seeds directly into soft sandy soil, about 1/4 inch deep. Carrots hate rocky or compacted soil because it makes their roots split and twist, so loosen the bed well before planting. Indoors, you'll need a deep container, at least 10 to 12 inches, so the roots can grow long and straight. Seeds can take up to 3 weeks to sprout, but once they do, thin the seedlings to 2 inches apart. This gives each root enough room to develop without competing. Harvest can begin as early as 60 days, though letting them grow longer gives you larger, crunchier carrots. Bonus tip, plant radishes in the same row as carrots. The radishes sprout quickly, marking the row and loosening the soil for the slower growing carrots. By the time the carrots need space, you'll already have harvested the radishes. Picture it, pulling up a bunch of sweet, bright orange carrots in Junior, rinsing them under cold water, and biting into that crisp, sugary crunch. That's the reward for October sowing. At number 5 is kale, the ultimate cool weather champion. If there's one leafy green that actually gets better as the temperature drops, it's kale. A touch of frost sweetens the leaves, turning what some call bitter into a tender, almost nutty flavor. Outdoors, kale thrives in garden beds or raised beds. Space the plants about 1 foot apart, keep the soil rich with compost, and water regularly to keep the leaves lush. Indoors, kale does surprisingly well in large pots under bright light or grow lamps, perfect if you want fresh greens right from your windowsill. Plant seedlings or direct sow seeds ½ an inch deep. In about 50 to 60 days, you'll have full leaves ready to harvest, but baby leaves can be picked much earlier for salads. The trick is to harvest from the bottom up, leaving the center crown to keep producing. Here's a bonus tip. Plant kale once, and with the right care, it can keep producing through winter and even into early spring. Some gardeners call it their never-ending salad bowl. Now imagine stepping into your garden in December, brushing frost off the leaves, and tossing those sweet, crisp greens straight into a pan. That's the kind of joy kale gives you. At number 4, we've got garlic, the king of fall planting. October is the golden month to get garlic cloves in the ground. Plant them now, and they'll quietly grow roots all winter long, ready to burst into strong plants once spring arrives. Outdoors, garlic is simple. Break apart a bulb, choose the largest cloves, and plant them 2 inches deep with the pointed end up, spaced about 6 inches apart. Cover with mulch to insulate through winter. Indoors, garlic doesn't usually form full bulbs, but you can grow garlic greens by planting cloves in pots and snipping the shoots for a mild garlic flavor in cooking. Planting-wise, garlic is a patient crop. Plant in October, harvest bulbs in early to mid-summer. But those greens you can use much earlier keep you supplied while you wait for the big payoff. Bonus tip: rotate your garlic beds each year. Don't plant garlic or onions in the same spot back to back. It keeps soil diseases at bay and your bulbs healthy. Now picture this. Next summer, pulling up a whole bed of fat, fragrant garlic bulbs, tying them into braids, and hanging them in your kitchen. That's the reward for a little October effort today. Quick poll. Do you go through garlic cloves one at a time, or are you like me and toss in half a bulb every time you cook? Number 3 is radishes, the speed demons of the garden. If you've ever wanted a crop that goes from seed to plate in under a month, radishes are your best friend. October is perfect because the cooler weather keeps them crisp, juicy, and mild instead of hot and pithy. Outdoors, sow the seeds directly into loose soil about ½ an inch deep and 1 inch apart. Indoors, radishes are just as happy in shallow containers, no deep soil needed since their roots are small. They sprout in just a few days, and in as little as 25 days, you'll be pulling fresh radishes from the soil. Here's the bonus. You can succession sow every week or 2, giving you a steady supply all through fall and even into winter if you protect them with a cold frame. Pro tip: plant radishes alongside slower crops like carrots. Radishes mark the rows and loosen the soil, and by the time the carrots need space, you've already harvested the radishes. Now imagine this, snacking on crunchy, peppery radishes in November while everyone else thinks fresh produce season is long gone. That's the power of a little October planting. Coming in at number 2 is lettuce, and this one is a must for anyone who loves fresh, homegrown salads. October is ideal because lettuce thrives in cooler weather and hates summer heat. Plant it now and you'll have crisp, tender leaves ready in weeks. Indoors, lettuce is the perfect windowsill crop. A shallow container, good soil, and bright light are all you need for fresh leaves at your fingertips. Outdoors, lettuce handles fall temperatures easily, and with a little fleece cover, it keeps growing through early winter. Sow seeds 1/4 inch deep and just scatter them lightly for loose leaf varieties. Romaine takes a bit longer, but gives you those classic crunchy heads. In as little as 30 days, you can be harvesting baby greens, and in 60 days, you'll have full-size heads. Bonus tip: harvest lettuce as cut and come again. Snip the outer leaves and let the center keep producing. One planting can last you for months. Picture this: in the middle of December, tossing together a bowl of crisp, sweet lettuce you grew yourself while everyone else is stuck with wilted store-bought greens. That's the kind of win October gives you. And finally, at number 1, we've got spinach. If you only plant one thing in October, let it be this. Spinach is hands down the easiest, fastest, and most rewarding crop you can grow right now. It laughs at the cold, it grows quickly, and frost actually makes the leaves taste sweeter. Outdoors, spinach loves cool soil. Sow the seeds about ½ an inch deep and 2 inches apart. then thin them once they sprout. Indoors, spinach does beautifully in shallow containers. Just make sure it gets plenty of light, whether from a sunny window or a grow lamp. Timeline-wise, you can start picking baby leaves in as little as 25 to 30 days. Leave the center intact and it'll keep producing new growth for weeks on end. Full-size leaves are ready in about 6 to 8 weeks. Here's the bonus tip. Succession sowing is your best friend. Plant a new batch every 2 weeks and you'll have an endless supply of spinach through fall and even into early winter. Now imagine this, stepping into your kitchen on a chilly November evening, clipping fresh spinach from a pot on your windowsill and tossing it straight into your dinner. No supermarket run, no limp plastic bag of greens, just fresh, vibrant leaves you grew yourself. So let me ask, are you more excited about growing spinach for crisp salads, hearty soups, or a quick toss into your morning omelet? So, there you have it. 15 crops you can start in October, indoors or outdoors, that will reward you through fall, winter, and well into next spring. Let's do a quick rundown. Strawberries, turnips, herbs like parsley and cilantro, cabbage, broccoli, peas, Swiss chard, beets, onions, carrots, kale, garlic, radishes, lettuce, and of course, spinach at number 1. That's a lineup of fresh food most people think isn't possible this late in the year. But you now know the secret. October planting means early harvests, stronger crops, and fresh meals when everyone else is stuck with store produce. Before you go, here are a few extra tips to make these crops even more successful. Indoors, grow lights can make all the difference as daylight hours shrink. Outdoors, use mulch, cloches, or a simple cold frame to protect plants from sudden frosts. And remember succession planting. Sow a little every couple of weeks for a steady supply instead of one big harvest. Soil prep matters too. Add compost now and your plants will reward you all season long. Think of it as setting the table before the feast. If you found this list helpful, give this video a thumbs up. It helps more gardeners discover these tips. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Tell me in the comments, which of these crops are you starting this October? I'd love to hear what's going in your garden or even on your windowsill. Thanks for watching and happy planting.